So we basically need you to route your virtual machines to my portal so that you can configure the file integrity monitoring module and you can see that in action with respect to the capabilities that it delivers on the table. Now, before we get started with that module, let me run a quick video and then I will invite Ankit to take over from me while I oversee the entire demonstration and provide inputs from my end at the same time. So I'm running a video from Qualys itself, which basically introduces this module and talks about why file integrity monitoring is important or why an organization should have file integrity service in place. Why is it needed or why do you need to monitor your files? We have already seen policy compliance wherein we are monitoring the entire operating system or the entire application through a set of controls or against a set of controls. And we basically identify our adherence to those controls. Then we have file integrity monitoring. So why do we need that solution? What is the value proposition of it? And what benefits it can bring on the table and how it aligns or how it allows an organization to align with various security standards and compliances is what we need to look at. Okay, so on the file integrity monitoring module itself, you see this video. Okay, this is the video that I was talking about, a 3-minute demonstration or 3-minute video from Qualys. This is from Qualys itself, wherein they introduce this solution, talk about the value proposition of it, and then they show some additional information. And then we also have prepared a presentation. We have also got a presentation that we will show you, and then we'll configure this module as we have done it for VMDR and policy compliance. So let's watch this video carefully.
File integrity monitoring is challenging. Multiple compliance standards and regulations have FIM as a mandatory requirement. And once you deploy it, you face noise, a lot of false alarms. Ultimately, this leads to high maintenance costs and reduced visibility into actual events of interest. Not having a FIM solution poses a significant compliance risk. FIM is one of the top failing compliance requirements as per the Verizon Payment Security Report, with 9.8% of organizations failing compliance audits due to insufficient or lacking FIM measures. Now, let's shift gears and explore the solution to tackle these challenges head-on. Qualys FIM, with its remarkable capabilities, stands out as a true FIM solution. With Qualys FIM, it's simple. No need for new installations. Just use the same Qualys agent you already trust. Activate file integrity monitoring in a single click. Easy, secure, and ready to go for PCI DSS 4.0. Import ready-to-use profiles from the Qualys library to kickstart your monitoring efforts and ensure compliance with PCI DSS, HIPAA, GDPR, ISO, and more. Minimize ongoing tweaks. Send the relevant events for the specific compliance framework without the noise. Customize your monitoring experience with Qualys FIM. Add rules with detailed granularity and advanced filters. Exclude known good users and processes to eliminate 90% of the noise. Keep it simple, keep it effective. Qualys FIM comes with inbuilt threat intelligence to detect malicious or suspicious hashes, making it easier for your security team to focus on what matters, instead of time-consuming event analysis. Qualys FIM now includes FAM, File Access Monitoring. Get real-time alerts for unauthorized attempts to access sensitive files. Capture comprehensive event details, including user and process information. Stay informed on successful or unsuccessful access attempts. Qualys FIM now expands to agentless devices as well, starting with FIM on network devices. Receive alerts on network configuration changes and precisely pinpoint differences during routine scans. Watch as we make changes to a network device. Then see the detailed FIM event insights in action. No need for extra setups or purchases. Qualys FIM comes with built-in incident management and compliance reporting. It's simple to use and ready for all your auditing needs. Gain instant insight into FIM compliance with dynamic dashboards designed for PCI DSS 4.0 FIM requirements. Qualys File Integrity Monitoring is simple, effective, and ready for action. Try it now and get ready for PCI DSS 4.0.
That was quick intro about file integrity monitoring that you've just seen. Now we're going to configure file integrity monitoring. So as part of that, I'm saying file integrity monitoring basically requires cloud agent on the asset. Once you have cloud agent on the asset, you just need to enable the FIM module, do the configuration profile configuration so that agent would know how frequently it needs to look for FIM capabilities or how frequently it needs to run FIM scan, what percentage of resources it needs to occupy from the system, all that you do that. So it's a pretty simple process. You just need to onboard these systems and then configure the FIM controls and FIM policies. That's what we're going to do. So uh, and so there are two approaches to it. The one is we already have virtual machines available. We can pick up one virtual machine, any one virtual machine, and then you uninstall the agent from that virtual machine, the one that belongs to your account, and you install the agent once again using the activation key that belongs to my account where FIM service is enabled so that your machine starts to reflect in FIM portal. And then you can configure FIM controls and see them and simulate those controls and see them in action for yourself. That's one way of doing it. However, sometimes what happens when you uninstall the agent from the VM and you deploy a new agent, even though the previous agent would at least take 6 to 12 hours to completely get removed from it. And during that window, the agent will not report to the new portal. That's what we have seen. So what we will do, we will quickly give it a try. If that works well and good, otherwise we will delete one VM and create another VM on its behalf. And on that VM, we will deploy the agent from scratch. So all of you, please go ahead and identify one virtual machine. Let's say Windows 2016, 2016 server. All of you have. Let's log into Windows 2016 server and let's go ahead and uninstall Cloud Agent from Add and Remove Programs. Over to you, Ankit. You take it from here, and I'll just oversee the session.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you, sir, for the introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. I'm sharing my screen. So we basically have understood already that what is FIM. FIM is basically just a technology that is going to test or check our operating systems, our databases, our networks, our applications, that what changes have been tampered or corrupted yet, right? Why organizations or individuals adopting right now FIM? Because of its security and compliance policies, right? So basically FIM also going to verifies and validates by comparing the latest version that are available in the Qualys cloud platform, and it, if anything is altered or compromised, then the events get generated and the user or the response team will get notified that it happens. Right? Qualys itself says that why they are introduced file integrity monitoring, because they know the principles of data security. Based on these three principles, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, they introduced FIM, which is file integrity monitoring. If you want to read out the PPT, please read it.
We'll share the PPT as part of deliverables. Move on to the next slide.
Yeah, okay. Now, why organizations need file integrity monitoring solution? Basically, there are two main reasons. The first reason is to meet compliance like PCI DSS, HIPAA, where it is expected to have real-time monitoring. However, Qualys itself says that FIM basically designed for the real-time monitoring. However, it is near real-time monitoring, which means when an event gets triggered in your machine, in your assets, it immediately captured by the cloud agent. However, it took minimum 30 seconds to report it to the cloud Qualys cloud platform, right? So basically, it's a near real-time file monitoring system. Now, the second reason in which organization wants to gain the depth knowledge that if the changes have been made till yet, then who made the changes, what changes have been made, and if the changes have been made, are the good changes or bad changes. So for all these in-depth knowledge, they need file integrity monitoring. Now, so we understand that why organizations need. Now, what are the challenges that organizations faces while they are trying to adopting FIM? The first one is visibility. They need to identify their critical infrastructure and what level of monitoring they want to enable on your assets on their devices. Second thing obviously is real-time assessment. And the third one is good versus bad changes. See, the bigger the organization, the more number of assets. If the more number of assets like thousands or hundreds of thousands devices are there, which means more number of events get triggered, right? In that case, organizations find it hardful to detect that whether these changes are good changes or bad changes. This is the problem statement. So till now we have understand what is FIM and what are the problem statement. Now let's talk about its solution.
Yeah. Before we get there, let's go back to the previous slide.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so what you see on the slide, guys, that's not exhaustive information in terms of compliances. In India, we have DPDP also, which is Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. This once again has got certain momentum. In the last week, when the government announced that very soon they are going to identify an agency who will be the caretaker, who will be the checker whether organizations are following it or not. So the DPDP would also require an organization to maintain and track record of every changes that happens to the critical files. So which means once DPDP is in place, organizations which are operating in India, they would also need a file integrity monitoring solution. Now, file integrity monitoring solution is also meant for CCPA, which is California Consumer Privacy Act. That also requires a FIM service to be there. In fact, ISO 27017, which is a cloud specific ISO standards for public cloud service providers, they also require FIM to be mandated. So FIM is also mandated there. So FIM is an integral solution of any cybersecurity practice or any organization that is into online business or that has an online presence in terms of public facing portals or that is using any online service. FIM is a requirement for them. Whether it is mandated or not, we can always argue on that. We can also debate on it. But FIM is a requirement because it aligns with the core information security, context or the thumb rule of information security, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Right now, the challenge with adopting the FIM is, which I have also seen from other FIM solutions which are available from Microsoft as part of Defender for Cloud, or which are available from Zscaler as part of Cloud Niti, which is CSPM solution, a lot of false positive. So what basically happens, as soon as you enable the solution and you configure the solution, it will start to generate a lot of alerts that gets converted into incident based on the configuration. And then it becomes really difficult to identify good versus bad. That's one challenge that you will find. Now imagine if you have 1,000, 100,000, or 10,100,000 systems, and if a system is generating one or two event every minute, imagine the number of minutes and number of employees that you would need to basically figure out which one is important, which one is not. So that is one of the challenge. Now to tackle that challenge, I've seen this capability in Qualys, that their FIM service is quite mature, and the FIM service can actually differentiate between good versus bad. It knows that which change is good and which change is bad. So the same registry entry, it can monitor your critical your see registry is very critical to an operating system. Any changes that you do registry or any changes that you do on the operating system, whether it is about deploying a new software and application, making the configuration changes to that existing software and application, or or basically removing an existing software and application, it will resonate to registry. So every action that you take inside the operating system would basically make certain changes in the registry. It will either create a dword values or it will remove those values. So FIM exactly knows that what registry changes are good and what registry changes are bad. That's one thing about the FIM, that it understands good versus bad. And that's the value proposition of this solution that we are talking about, which I have personally experienced in case of Qualys, which I somehow found missing in other solutions that I have exactly configured the services for. Over to you, Ankit.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, so now talks about the features. So we are talking about solution, then we are going to talk about how Qualys can help organizations and what features it is offering to us. First is real-time detection, which is I already told you, it is a near real-time detection, which however it detects in real time, but it shows the detection within 30 seconds in your Qualys cloud platform. Second is built of Qualys Cloud Agent. Yes, FIM basically uses Qualys Cloud Agent to generate or target the events. Third thing is providing a feature which is easy to install, configure and manage, which you will already see in the demo part. And the last thing is Qualys platform native integration. See, FIM basically a different application, file integrity monitoring, but in the Qualys platform, you already have its integration. So that's why they include it as a feature. Now, how Qualys FIM can help? Basically, it is going to help us as organizing our assets. Second thing, out of box monitoring profiles, which means, see, once you install the cloud agent, then you have to tell the agent that, hey, cloud agent, please monitor these events. For that, you are going to create monitoring profiles based on the predefined rules or based on the rules which you are going to create. We will get see in the demo. And after that, out of box monitoring profiles, we can also use QQL. QQL is basically Qualys query language, which is just a logical language which Qualys uses to identify or basically filtering the events. So that's what about out of box monitoring profiles. The third one is one click assessment. Yes, basically the you already see in the Qualys platform, in every service on every module you see the dashboard from where you get the end every detail about it. And lastly, the control noise, which Raghuveer sir already told you right now, that Qualys automatically identifies what is whitelist. It basically going to whitelist the good changes and going to create an incident for bad changes that you're going to define by using the rules. So that's all from theory perspective. If you have any doubt, you can ask it to me, and then we will going to move to the demo part. Okay, so before moving to the demo part, I want to tell you the steps, the total steps that we are going to configure for successfully implementing the FIM part, right? So let me make a word note for you that I am going to share with you later. Okay. Hmm. I hope the text is visible, or I need to increase more size.
Can you increase the size of the document? Probably expand
Yeah,
it
sure.
so that the text will be enlarged. Yeah, this looks okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the steps. The first step is to install Cloud Agent. Inside this step, what we need to do, I will tell you. Second step, we need to configure the monitoring profile. And the third step is to view events. Right? Now, in the Cloud Agent, what we need to do? See, the first thing we need to install, obviously, the Cloud Agent, install Cloud Agent in the asset which we want to monitor. Second thing, we need to activate agents for FIM, which we already did while we creating activation key. Remember, we added the FIM part, so we need to activate the FIM module. And the third thing, we need to enable the FIM in the configuration profile, where I'm telling you first. Okay. Yeah, see in the configuration profile, if I'm going to show you the details in the FIM, you see it says FIM is enabled for this configuration profile. The third step is to enabling this profile. So let me write it down here. Enable FIM in the configuration profile, and we need to assign it to the agent, from where I'm going to tell you right now. The first step, we need to configure this all things. Now, as you already install agent using the your account activation key, so let's try to uninstall that agent. Now, from where you guys need to install the agent, from both the places. The first place inside the VM, and the second place from this portal. From this portal where you can install, for example, agents. I want to install, for example, uninstall for this PCFIM. Click on it, go to actions. Here you will see the option deactivate agent and uninstall agent. Are you, if 1 second? Okay. So here is the option for deactivating agent and uninstalling agent. Deactivating agent means the agent will remain installed on your system, but it don't create any events. It doesn't monitor inside your system. It basically taking a pause when you are deactivating it. Uninstalling means you are just removing the agent from your assets, right? So click on uninstall agent. It will ask you for the once again, confirm it. It says uninstalling agent has a permanent impact on your account. This action cannot be undone, and this action will remove one agent from your subscription. Make sense? Confirm it and see the agent will immediately gets removed from the portal. However, sometimes it took more time in the assets, and sometimes it do really quick. So let's uninstall the from portal and then log into your VM. But I don't think PC FIM has public IP. So how do I log into it? Yeah, it has. Search for IDP.
Ankit, you don't need to do that. This needs to be done by the participants because their agents are pointing towards their own Qualys
Yeah,
subscription, and we
yeah,
want those agents to point in our subscription where FIM module is enabled. And this is
yeah.
not
But
for Satish. This is only for rest of the participants. So guys, what
mm-hmm.
you need to do, navigate to your respective screen the way Ankit is sharing, go to Cloud Agent module and then identify one VM, one asset who you see having Cloud Agent on it and uninstall the agent from here. Once it disappears from here, then log into that VM and also uninstall the agent from Add and Remove Program control panel. And after that, you will need to install the agent once again. But next time when you install the agent, we are going to provide you with the script that you will type in the command prompt to install the agent with our activation key so that your respective VM will start to report in our Qualys portal so that you can configure file integrity module for your respective VM and you can see that module in action. Is everyone with me on this?
No, Robo, can you please re-explain this?
Please
Okay.
share screen. We can
I
guide
didn't
you.
understand. Okay.
Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is to remove. So, okay, before that, please share your screen. Ankit will guide you and rest of the people will follow the same process.
Yeah, go to the cloud agent. Yeah,
Hmm.
click on agent management. Yeah, yeah. Select one of your agent which you want. For example, select Windows 2016. Yeah, select that one. Middle one. Yeah, click on actions. Yeah, also here this basically we call quick actions. Here you see the option uninstall agent. See,
Hmm.
click on it.
Hmm.
confirm, and then confirm once again to uninstall agent from the portal. Now see guys, if you only uninstall the agent from the portal but don't uninstall from your machine, which basically going to take around 6 to 12 hours to automatically get uninstalled from your VM also, right? Now, but we want this to be in a real time or a near real time. So let's log into your machine, which is Windows 2016. Go to your Azure. Yeah. Take the public IP of it. Yeah. You already logged in?
1 minute. Let me check for the public IP. There is no public IP for this.
No worries.
for
In
this-
that case, you can log into the first VM, and from
Yes.
inside that
It is
VM, you
already-
can take a remote. Or what you can do
Yeah,
in that
already-
case, Prashant, you can probably do the entire activity for the VM that has public IP. Okay, you're already logged in. That's okay.
Yeah, I
Whichever way
already
you are
logged in previously.
comfortable.
This is 1 minute. Let me verify for Windows STRT.
Yeah, private IP was there, which is 10.0.0.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. Yes, this is the one.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
unable to
sure.
see the IP address in at the top of it.
See,
This is the
10.0.5.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, okay. Now let's do one thing. Open the task manager. More details. Click on more details. See, the Qualys Cloud Agent is still working right now. Although you have uninstalled it from the portal, but it's still working. Now search for add and remove programs. Not here, not here, not here. Close this one. Yeah. Add and remove
It's under
programs.
control panel, guys. It's typical Windows configuration. You just need to
Hmm.
uninstall this from the system also.
Yeah. Okay. Now please stop sharing. I'm going to share your screen, sharing my screen, and then tell you the further step.
Satish, you don't need to do that because you already have your separate FIM module.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so those whom we provide our user accounts, what you need to do, you don't need to create any activation key. Yesterday, Raghuveer sir already told you how to create an activation key. You just need to click on new key, enable the modules for which you want to service, like in this case, which is file integrity monitoring. If you want to set limits, like how many agents will get installed using this keys, then you can put a number of limits, for example 5, 10, 100, 10,000, whatever you want, and the key limit by date. If you want that up to this date you can install agents using this activation key, right? So we already have a key here. See, I am not going to suggest you to install using demo cloud agent. Why? Because here we already have set it the limit. For example, if you go to the edit key, see set limits, which is maximum number 10. However, I can change it or remove it, but not doing it. In production key, we have no limit. So I request you all, yeah, no worries, for better processing, FIM demo, enabling all the modules, no limit, and generate. See, now I'm closing it. Now you guys what need to do? Go to the cloud agent from the user account which we have provided. Select the FIM demo from here. Click actions, and here you will see the option called install agent, right? Click on it, and for windows.exe, download the install instructions from here. I already have agents installed in all of my VMs, so I request you, one of you, to please share a screen and I can guide you how to install agent once again. However, Raghuveer sir already told you, but I am here to guide you. So Please refresh your portal. Refresh your portal.
Prashant, this is my portal that you have access to, right?
No, this is mine. Okay, I have to log in with the user ID and credentials
Yes, yes,
provided.
yes, yes, yes.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah. Because in your portal, you don't have FIM,
Correct, got it.
right? So all of you guys for this session for FIM module, since you do not have FIM module, and I didn't want to do a blank demonstration wherein you just see the screen and do nothing for yourself, which doesn't make sense. That's the reason we basically identified this workaround wherein I am providing you access to my portal. Farhan has already shared the credentials with you. Go ahead and log in with those credentials so that you are able to log in into my cloud, my Qualys portal, where you have access to FIM module.
Okay, this is I have logged in.
Go to the cloud agent.
However, Prashant, you will
Hmm.
download the agent where? This is your local system, right? So if you download
Correct.
agent here, then you will need to copy and paste it to the virtual machine where you want to deploy it.
Yeah,
So you can
that's
Correct.
probably, yeah, you can directly open the console on that virtual machine.
So from where we okay, I will use
yeah,
this.
in this one. In this one. In this one. Go to the browser. Enter the user details which we have shared with you. And I hope everyone is performing the same steps. Yeah, go to the activation key.
Hmm.
Select the FIM demo or click on quick actions. Select the FIM demo. Yeah. Click on install agent. Download the instructions for Windows. Click install instruction, yes. Now click download.exe. Click download.exe. See, it downloads. Now copy this command. Open the file explorer. Yeah, go to the download section. Here in the file path where you are seeing now this PC downloads, click on it and type cmd there. File path, this PC downloads, top of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, click on it, type cmd. No, remove everything and then type cmd. Yeah, click on it, hit enter. Now you are in the inside the downloads folder. Paste the code which you have copied from the portal, which is basically going to install the cloud agent in your asset. Hit enter. See, it says installation failed. The reason behind it, because the agent which was earlier installed doesn't get removed yet properly.
Can we reboot the VM after removing the agent? Let's do one reboot so that any leftover traces of that agent or that application is removed.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Can I
Reboot the
close
VM.
this?
Yeah, close this and reboot it.
Yep, unless you reboot, you will not be able to install the agent again. Reboot the system. All of you, please reboot the system. Reboot the VM that you want to onboard in my portal so that you can deploy the agent from my portal using my activation key or installation script and then be able to configure the file integrity monitoring.
Yeah, log into that VM again. See, after rebooting, there is no
Yes,
copy
there will
paste
be
thing left.
nothing.
Yeah, you need to download it again, copy it again.
1 minute.
Yeah, install agent, install instructions, copy the command. Why you're downloading it again? The exe file is already downloaded in your system, right? Hmm. Go to the file explorer. Yeah,
Can I
remove
remove
the
this one?
Yeah, yes. Control D, delete it. In the path, type cmd. Yeah, type
It's
cmd.
already there, man.
Yeah, paste your command. No,
Still getting
it is not going to work. We need to create another VM.
Okay. New VM.
Yeah. First remove one of the VMs. Why we are creating more VMs?
Yeah.
Just click on delete. Click on delete.
So
Yeah. Here you will find the middle, delete. Create a new one. Click on create as your virtual machine. Yeah. Select the resource group which allocated to you. Yes. Give name. Use hyphen. Use hyphen at the place of underscore. Yeah. In the availability options, yeah, click on it. No infrastructure. Security type is standard. Security type must be standard. Security type, yeah, standard. Click on images. Choose the image. Choose the image. You are not choosing the operating system. Yeah. Choose 2016. Yes. This one. This one is good. Yes, this one is good. Type the username and password. Everyone else, are we on the same page, guys? Click on licensing, click on, go back to the previous step, go back to the previous step. Here you need to slot, yes. Yes, you have like confirm it, go to disk. Yeah, add the OS disk type, select HDD. Go ahead. Yeah, that's okay. Hit review plus create. No need to make another changes. Hit review plus create. Everyone else any faces any issues? If yes, then I am here to help. Click on create.
I am able to install the agent.
In the same machine?
Yes, Windows 10 machine.
In which the agent was previously installed, you uninstalled it and installed it again, right?
No, this is the first time I am installing.
So first time you are doing that, right? Then no issues. Then no issues. Yeah. So Raghavendra Bin is here. I can see in my portal.
But we are not doing here.
It is still in progress. It is still in
Yeah, yeah,
progress.
it's
See
done,
the
done.
notification
Yeah, it's
icon.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's created.
Yeah. Copy the IP, log into the VM. Perform the now this VM has its own public IP, so you don't need to go inside one of the RDP. You can directly
Okay,
paste
I
the
can directly, yes,
yes. Remove the all the RDP sessions which you have already active right now. You can remove it. Yeah. Once you install the agent on your machine, please let me know so I can refresh my portal, Cloud Agent portal, and I can see that your VM is here or not. Right now, I only see one VM, which is from Raghavendra, sorry. Don't try to reinstall again on a previous VM. Just delete the VM, one of your VMs, create a new one. And if you face any issues while creating a virtual machine on Azure portal, you can ask it to me. I will help you. And then install the agent, because this is all about configuration. Once the agent is installed, you will see that you don't need to do anything with the configuration part. Then you are just going to create rules, create sections, and thus just see the events which are generated, right?
So I logged into the VM, so we have to do that settings, correct? Services
No.
other or not?
Yes. You need to do all the changes like turning off the firewall, enabling the file and printer sharing. Do real quick, it won't take too long.
Sure, sure. I will do this share.
Yeah.
Just need to onboard your assets in
This is the
in my account so that you can see file integrity monitoring. You can configure it for yourself.
this
Yeah.
is the one I used.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now see
And
why I ask you this question. Please stop sharing. I want to share my screen. Okay, so apart from Raghavendra, I'm able to see one more VM. Uh, I don't know. He basically don't name his VM. VM Windows 10. This VM belongs to whom, guys?
Yeah, that is
Is
for
this
me.
for Vipin, I believe? Is that yours, Vipin?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So
okay.
guys, let's quickly onboard your VMs in this portal so that you can start with the configuration. Because if you just see Ankit doing the configuration, you will probably forget it. But if you do it by yourself, you will remember it for a longer duration and do it for your respective VM so that you will first do the configuration, then act as a malicious person, and then you will do the configuration changes, change the files on your system, and see how quick Qualys file integrity monitoring module will be to report to discover those changes and report it to the portal. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Prasant. Once his VM is showing here, then we will move ahead.
Ankit, you can carry forward with the VPN if it's VM is ready because I have to download each then log into the college, so it will take some time.
No worries, it will
So
take
I'm
one
doing
moment. No worries, no worries.
okay,
Please
okay,
do it.
then okay, then okay. I just installed each browser on that, so I'm just logging. Its connection has been
Moving to the word file. See, the for file integrity monitoring, we have three steps, out of which first installing the cloud agent in which we want to monitor. It's done. Activate the FIM module. We already activated the FIM module in the activation key, and by that activation key, we have installed agent in our machine. So which means you can see here in the cloud agent, agent management, agent. Are you getting me right? Am I audible properly and my screen is visible? Yeah, okay. So in the agent modules, you can see all the five like patch management, SCA, FIM, vulnerability management, all five are active right now. So this was our second part. The third part is enable FIM in the configuration profile and assign it to the agent. See, you guys already have enabled FIM where in the configuration profile. Yesterday, Raghavi sir already told you how to create a configuration profile. So I'm not going to create it again to save the time. However, you see there are three profiles is showing right now. One is FIM and another one demo, which is created by Raghuveer Singh. However, the third profile, which is initial profile, is default and created by system. For this initial profile, if you click on actions, neither you edit this profile, neither you delete this profile. But if this profile is present here, then why we need to create other profiles? Because in the default profile, the FIM module is not enabled. So if you go to the view, which basically going to show you the configuration of this uh, profile, you will go to the FIM part which says FIM is not enabled for this configuration profile. And this is also a default profile. So which means every agent which gets installed cloud agent, automatically the configuration profile, which is the initial profile, which is default, is getting attached to your assets. Now the FIM profile and demo profile both have FIM enabled. How to check? Go to the view. In the FIM, you will see FIM is enabled for this configuration profile. Now, what need to do? I am going to edit this one FIM profile to show you. For example, if you are creating configuration profile only for the FIM part, then out of all these sections like general blackout, what sections are of your use? First one, just give the name. Directly jump onto the assign host. Now here, either you can assign host from here or you can select any tag. See, there are two options for assigning your assets by using asset tag or by using its name. If we are going to choose the asset tag, which means each and every asset tag which has the same tag, this configuration profile will get attached to it. But as we are using the same environment, so not in any place we are going to use asset tag. Otherwise, the rule which we are going to configure will be applicable for all of you, right? So we are just going with the hosts. Right now, you don't need to do anything. I will tell you when you need to do it, right? So this section where you need to include host, and if you want to exclude any host, you can choose it here. If you want to choose the asset tag, just click on select one or create one. In the select one, here you will see the recent tags. When click on this icon, you will see all the tags which are available. First general info, second this one, and third this one, FIM part. In the FIM part, you just need to, by default it was off, you need to enable it. Now the payload threshold time in 60 seconds here, I am changing it to 30 seconds. The first thing, which means every 30 seconds, the cloud agent will, the events which it gets triggered, upload to the Qualys server within the next 30 seconds. Right now, this data collection interval, this basically is not going to applicable for us. Why? Because we are going to using Windows, Linux, and in all these operating systems, near real-time monitoring is enabled. This feature is only for AIX Cloud Agent, which is also mentioned here, which says scan interval is supported only for the AIX Cloud Agent. When we will move to the FIM section, where I will show you, you will see two parts. For example, in the event section, you are going to see like host agent, scan agent. In the incident part, you will see incident agent and scan agent, host agent and incident agent. So why are there two sections? Because of this AIX cloud agent, which is not going to applicable in our case, right? So we basically going to change the threshold time 30 seconds and save it. Now the profile is updated. Now here, what you guys all need to do, go to the agents, and by default you see all of the, first let me refresh if any more agent is attached. Yeah, so these are assets are here. You see the initial configuration part, initial profile is already attached to Prashant VM, Raghavendra VM. Why? Because this one is the configuration profile. Now we can, however, we can perform the bulk operation. Just select all of them, go to actions and perform the bulk operation. But I want all you to do that. So for example, this is my VM, Qualys Win 2K19, and the configuration profile attached to it initial profile, in which FIM part is not enabled. So I will just basically click on it. When I click on it, either I can open the quick actions from here. It will basically going to show you the same settings which you're going to find in the section part. However, I am going to tell you each and every part of it. First, let's do it. What you need to do it, go here, which is assign configuration profile. One more thing. See, the default profile is automatically get attached to every agent assets here, but in one asset, you can only attach one configuration profile, which means as soon as you are going to change the configuration profile, the real profile, which is initial profile, gets deleted. So when you click on it, assign configure profile, you will see all the profile which are available. I'm going to select the FIM profile and save it. With basically going to give you the disclaimer part, confirm it, and see is attached. Now everyone please perform the same steps like Prasant, Raghavendra and Vipin for your VMs. You need to attach the FIM profile which has FIM module enabled, because if you have initial profile, then it basically not going to show you the events. Attach it and show the indication which says successfully saved. However, here it would take some time to get submitted. No need to worry about it. Just do it once and let me know. For example, I'm going to select one of my VM asset. Yeah, click on actions. Now I'm going to tell you each and everything about it. See, by click on it, you are going to see the asset details. For example, everything. For example, including the FIM part. Right now, the configuration profile isn't in the monitoring profile. We haven't created yet. That's why it shows as empty. Now add text by click on this options. For example, this agent or this asset only has a one tag yet cloud agent. If I want to add any other tag, we can go here, just select any other tag, choose from the list which tags are available. For example, I want to add the FIM tag here, just click on it and hit OK. The FIM tag will get added to it. See here. Second option for this, assign configuration profile. I already told you. Once you create the configuration profile, enable the FIM part and then assign it to your agent assets. Deactivate agent basically means the agent will not get uninstalled from your device. However, it stops monitoring for a particular time until you come here and activate the agent again. Uninstall basically going to remove the agent here. Now the option deactivate agent for FIM, IOC, policy, PM, XDR, CAPS. What is this? See, the agents which is showing here and the agent modules which is active here are coming from where activation keys, because activation keys, the modules which we have selected is already enabled here. Now for a particular machine or for a multiple machines, if we want to disable or deactivate few things, we can click here and see it says if you want to deactivate the file integrity monitoring, just off it and deactivate it. The file integrity deactivate for this particular asset. Make sense? Here by clicking here, you can basically going to change activation key. From here, you are going to disable the self protection. If you want to do on demand scan, you can do it from here. However, because cloud agent also supports for policy compliance. See, basically, if someone is going to ask you what is the main difference between policy compliance and file integrity monitoring, see, first, policy compliance going to use either the scanner appliance cloud agent. However, the FIM part, which is file integrity monitoring, only uses the cloud agent. First thing. Second thing, policy compliance is basically a scan which we scheduled. Either we scheduled it, either we go with the manual process, but FIM made for real time monitoring. That's basically are the main differences between PC and FIM. So on demand scan is for that. If you want to apply any custom logo, you can do it, and this is troubleshoot. So this is all about agent, activation key, and configuration profiles. All things is done from my end on the cloud agent part. And if you go on the our Word file, you will see we have also enabled the configuration profile and assigned it to the asset. So the first part is already done. Any doubts still here? Because the cloud agent part is finished now. Now we are going to move to in the FIM application, or which you say FIM module.
All right, guys. So we are done with the prerequisite. Consider this as a prerequisite that you will have to deploy the cloud agent on the assets. If they already have cloud agent deployed, then you just need to enable FIM module for those assets. If you already are a customer of VMDR from Qualys and you have additionally enabled FIM service, then all you need to do, all those assets that have cloud agent deployed on it, navigate to those assets, look for the configuration profile that they are, corresponding to, and enable the FIM module for it. Once the FIM module is enabled, then you will need to do the configuration. You will need to tell the FIM solution what exactly are you going to monitor, how do you want to monitor it, and what do you want to do when there is an event that goes against what you want to monitor, or that basically matches your monitoring profile. That is basically known as monitoring profile. Similar to in policy compliance, we created policies and then we ran scan for those policies. Here you will create monitoring profile, but you don't run any scan, since file integrity monitoring works by itself every 60 seconds, 30 seconds. It sends data to the server or to the console. You will be quick to see any changes that are being done on critical files in your assets. So that's the second part of it, which Ankit is going to explain, which is the service configuration that as Ankit is going to talk about next. And you also need to configure along with him. While you do any configuration, please make sure that you put your first name, so that in the portal, when you see multiple entries for the same configuration, we can identify which one belongs to whom, right? That's what you need to do. So
after the first step done, move towards the configure the monitoring profile, which is our second step. Okay, so what we need to do here, first we need to create monitoring profile. Once it's done, or inside while we are creating monitoring profile, then we also create rules according to our or organization's requirement. See, once the monitoring profile is created and the rules is created, then we need to assign that monitoring profile to our assets. Then assigning it to the assets. So talking about first point, moving towards our platform. Okay, let me refresh it once. Hmm. So I can see Raghvendra has created configure profile for himself differently. Okay, now you can see here a few profiles. You can see configuration profiles in a black and a blue. Blue profile basically shows that these profiles are not active anymore. They are in a process to change, which is basically says new configuration profile is available and assigned to agent 20 minutes ago. It already assigned to our agent 20 minutes ago, but it still is in installation part. Now the example of it, for example, in this VM, this was earlier in an initial profile. I basically choose and assign the configuration profile, which is FIM profile. Now see here what it says. Configuration downloaded 6 minutes ago, 5:12 p.m., which means I can say that around 15 minutes ago, I enabled the configuration profile and it just got enabled before 8 minutes ago, which means once you change the configuration profile, it would take around 5 to 10 minutes, right? But if it shows in blue, which means the command which you have given to it succeeded and will it is in a changing process, right? So the cloud agent part is done. Let's move towards the file integrity monitoring, which is our second step. Here we are going to create our monitoring profile. Okay, so this is the FIM module or FIM application, which is integrated with Qualys cloud platform. Here, see the three steps which I told you, which is the same steps shown in the FIM profile. This is basically a quick steps. Okay. Now here in the tab section, you see there are 6 tabs: dashboard, events, incidents, responses, reports, assets, and configuration. Before clicking on it, let me give a little high overview of it. The configuration profile. In the configuration profile, we are going to create the rules, assign monitoring profiles to our AJ assets. See, it says monitoring profile for Windows. However, one profile is created, which is active right now. I am going to tell you how to create monitoring profile and assign rule to it. Now in the
Sure.
asset part, this is the FIM application which is integrated with Qualys Cloud Platform. They are using 7 tabs. See, the first one is configuration part. However, the dashboard is going to basically going to show you the entire details. The overview of this dashboard I am going to give you at the end of the FIM part. Why? Because they are something to risk zero, asset critically score is zero, cloud posture is low right now. So I want that some incidents get triggered and the dashboard become more available. Then I will give you a high overview of this dashboard, right? Now in the configuration part, first you need to create monitoring profile and then assign that profile into your asset. Now this is the part where you are going to assign that configuration profile. See, all of the VMs, or I would say all of the assets in which you have installed cloud agent, you can see here in the asset section. Now you will see differences here. See, one of the thing, the first section says name. These are the name of the VMs. This is the manifest status. See, except one VM, which is Qualys Win 2K16, it says FIM manifest assigned. Except all of this, no FIM monitoring profile assigned, which means out in out of all these profiles or out of all these assets, only one assets has enabled FIM right now, because I already tested this thing in this VM. That's why it is already enabled. So once you create the configuration profile, you are going to assign it, and then you need to wait until the manifest status changes to FIM manifest assigned and the agent status changes to FIM events uploaded, right? Once these two changes have been done, then any event which you perform on your virtual machine, and based on that rule, it will get generates an event and show you in the event section. This is the event section where basically you are going to see all the rules. Someone is trying to create configuration profile right now. No, I think it was earlier one. Okay, this is the event insights. Here, however, I'm just giving a high level overview. The deep overview I will done give you once there is something to show for me, right? So now this is the film profile. Here you will get to see all the configuration profile which you have cleared in the all events. Here you will see all the events which get generated in our assets, by which we can event review ignored incidents. We can create incidents by the events by using QQL, which is Qualys query language, which is just a logical language which basically going to use logical operators like and or. See, in the responses part, we basically going to create actions. Actions means basically here we are going to assign peoples or actions, what action we need to take on incidents, and in the rule manager we are going to create a new rules. So I will tell you all that. From the responses we are going to generate reports. We can review that reports from here, or we can create a report rule to generate an automatic report for us. This is the asset and configuration. So now let's move deep down into the configuration part. Okay, see, here you can see the two tabs, profiles and library. In the profiles, you are going to see all the monitoring profiles which you have created or imported. Imported means from library. Now, what is library means here? This is the library which is provided by Qualys, which has some predefined rules in it, and we can directly just click on quick actions and import those profiles to our profile library, right? These profiles, so basically Qualys provides two things in their library. The first thing is the profiles which has predefined rules, and second thing is queries. These are the queries. Basically inside those there are the they using QQL, Qualys query language, to filter the events which gets generated. So before importing any profile here, I want you to create a profile from new profile. So after the creating new profile, when I am importing a profile from library, you will get understand that what is going to happen here, right? So now click everyone on create, hit create. Now there are two options, new profile, import profile. Import profile is basically going to take you to the library section from where you are going to import your profile. Click on new profile, right? In the profile
Guys, this
name,
is similar to creating a new policy from scratch in policy compliance or importing a policy from library. What use case we are doing right now is creating a new profile from scratch so that you can provide all the configurations by yourself. And if you click on import profile, then you can import a pre-configured profile by Qualys and you can probably edit that profile. So Ankit is using the first use case, which is creating from scratch. Yeah, go on, Ankit.
yeah, in the profile name, I want you all to please make sure that your profile name must start with your first name so we can identify which profile belongs to whom, because we all are using the same environment. So I am basically going to create my first name Ankit hyphen and the rule of my monitoring profile. So let's say I want to create a rule for that if someone changes anything in a particular file. So for example, if my file is besides a download folder in my machine, for example, let's take a VLC file. So vlc.exe is besides in my machine, and if someone changes it, for example, from vlc.exe and person changes it to vlc.txt, then it should get triggered event. So for that, let's say I'm going to create an rule. So for example, I'm going to give it name file change track. Give the name of the profile. Once done, then it's going to ask you the operating system. Currently, it supports for only two operating system, Windows and Linux. In our case, let's choose Windows. Now the category. It is basically going to ask you the category, for which category compliance do you want to do it. For example, PCI and HIPAA are available here. If you want to choose any category, basically these category are not going to make any differences here, because the rules which we have created are our own rule. These categories are going to make sense when we are going to import profile, and where all the rules are there which is necessary for PCI DSS 4.0, right? So either we can choose a category from here, or we can click on manage and click on create new category, enter the name and create category. For example, I'm creating a category name which says check file. Anything you can give here. Create category. The category will be added here. Now either you can click on it to add it, or just close it. In the category section, the check for profile is already selected. In the description, you want to give description that this monitoring profile is basically going to monitor for what, you can give it to here. So that's all from profile details section. Please do it. Then we are going to move to the next section, which is profile exclusion. Click on next. Now this is the profile exclusion part. See, you know that you are going to create a rule, but if you know that this is the authenticate user, for example me, so I can select user as me. That, for example, in that VM, if Azure user, or for example someone else, some user which you exclude here made any changes, then don't please create any event, because this is the trusted for me. So profile exclusion is basically don't generates an event for if the events get triggered by or changed by this user or by particular this process. So right now we don't want to exclude anything. So just click on next. Now this is the rule section where we are going to create.
Go back to the previous
Yeah.
screen, Ankit.
Yeah, so basically
Now this
no
exception part is similar to what we did in policy compliance, wherein we had certain controls which failed and we wanted to create an exception so that in the subsequent scan, those controls will not be shown as failed again and your report looks green. That's exactly what we did in policy compliance. Now here, file integrity monitoring is doing what it is doing. It is basically monitoring the files for the changes that is done in the files. Now, how do you know what is good change, what is bad change? So that is where you are telling Qualys that Qualys, if the changes are done in the files that you will configure later on, if the changes are done in the file by these many users or these many processes, then do not consider them as bad changes. Consider them as good changes and do not create an incident because of that change. So if Azure user, which is our default user, if Azure user is making any changes to a critical file, consider it as an expected activity because Azure user is a legitimate user. But if there is a rogue user, if there is a malware which has entered into my system via some removable device via network, and if that user tries to create a change, if that user tries to modify a file or a registry, or if it's a ransomware which tries to encrypt a file, then please generate an event because it's a rogue user. So that's where exclusion comes in the picture, that these users and these processes are trusted users and processes. Please do not include them when you perform your file integrity monitoring checks. That's the logic here. Is everyone with me on this logic? This logic will help you reduce false positive. Yeah, move on.
So next part is creating a rules. If we are importing a profile from library, or we are basically cloning a profile, existing profile, I will tell you later how to clone a profile which is already existed in your environment. Then there you will see multiple rules which are already assigned to it. Now we are creating it from scratch, so you are not seeing any here. Either you can create a new rule here from here, or you can click on create new here. Now before creating a rule, you need to create a section. basically what's the logic behind rule and section. You can understand section is a folder which stores file, and what is the file in this case is rule. So I think the section basically combines the rules which has same logics, right? You can assign same rules, multiple rules to a same section. So let's just first create a section, because while we are going to create a rule, it will going to ask you a section. In a section, for example, I am going to name file change track. Give the name of your section. In the category, you will see the two categories, NIST, HIPAA, or you can click on manage, the same thing, create new category. So for example, I'm going with the NIST. Now in the description part, you can give description that what rules will be stored in this section. Once these three part is done, now the references part. See what references here. References is basically the rules which we are creating is customized rules, which means the rules is not already predefined here. So now why we are creating these rules? Is there something compliance new coming? For that we are creating these rules. So for that, if we want to add some references, so reference document, reference links, reference description, you can add it to here. Make sense? Once it's done, just click on save and the section will be created. Okay. Once the section is created, again click on create new. Now it's time for creating a rule. In the rule, you need to first give a name of a rule, that what rule is it. So for example, I am going to track changes if someone changes in my file. Now before doing that, everyone, I request you please log into your machine, in the same machine in which you have installed Cloud Agent, and the same machine which is showing in my environment, right? Which is just now installed. So for example, I am just log into my VM. Everyone please log into a VM just to check which file is already downloaded here, or if you want to download any file, you can download it from it there, and then for that file we can create a rule considered as this file as a critical file. So for example, I'm going to do this for 2K19 VM, for example, and yeah, I'm back. Okay. First, let me check in the task manager the Cloud Agent is working for me or not. Yeah, Qualys Cloud Agent is working here. Now let's see if I want to make changes for any file which is exists in my already here. Okay, so here you am I audible, guys? Right? So for example, let's see if I want to monitor the Firefox profile, the Firefox one. Now I will go back to my portal and create rule for it.
Now, this could be
Okay.
any file. It's not Firefox. He's just picking up
Yeah.
one use case that if you want to monitor a file for the configuration changes, just create a monitoring profile rule for that file. And when anyone makes those configuration changes, Qualys agent will be quick to pick up those changes, validate whether those changes are excluded in the exclusion for that specific user or process. If not, it will quickly generate an alert that will be displayed into the portal. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah. So after giving a profile of rule name, if you want to add, you can add description. Now for this folder, we have created the section. Now here you need to select the section. So section we already have created. Select the section. Now it is basically going to ask you on which monitoring rule parameters do you want Cloud Agent to monitor. So in the rule type, you have four options. Directory, that if you want to monitor the entire directory, like documents, download, or any directory which besides in your inside the C drive, right? C drive basically stores critical data. And if you want to monitor the entire directory, you can give the path for entire directory. I will tell you after this. We basically are going to create all the four types of rule: directory, file, registry key, and registry value, right? So start with the file. Now the severity level which you want to assign, I am going to see the higher severity, which means severity 1 will show as low severity and severity 5 will show as high severity. So I'm going with the medium severity, which is severity 3. Now here you need to give the file path. For example, we are doing this for file. For file, you need to give the path of the file, right? So going back to the VM and taking the path of it. Here you will find the option called copy as path. If not, then no worries. What you need to do, just copy the path here. Once done, go back here. Okay, so it's basically not taking the path as this. What you need to do, click on properties. Here you will find the entire path and location. See users, Azure user downloads. Copy the entire path. After this, just add the backward slash and add the file name. If the copy as path option is not available, if available, then just copy as path. So I'm copying this, going back, pasting the path, add backward slash and add the file name. Make sure that you are adding the exact file name, including the, for example, if the file is firefox.exe, .word, .txt, whatever it is. If the .exe not showing to you, you can just click on view. Inside view, you will see an option called file name extensions. Just check it and you will see the name, right? Once done, copy the file name, paste it here. Make sure you need to paste the correct path. If your path is wrong, if your file name is no path is wrong, or the path after the file is come. So for example, if you change here the name of the file, then it's basically not going to monitor this file, right? So make sure to give the correct path. Please do it. Okay, I hope you did it. Once you choose the path, once you choose the rule type, now you need to monitor what you want to monitor in this file. This is the question arrives, right? So I want to monitor file access. If you want to monitor only the file access, if someone double clicks on it and tries to open the file, you can change this option. If someone tries to change the name of the file, if someone remove the file, if someone changes the content which besides in the file, right? File creation, if someone changes to the attributes, if someone do something with its security settings or change security settings. So everything, which means I can see no other deep down option can be possible out of these, which means if any file exists in your system and these files is critical, then you can access everything. That who access the file, like first you will get in events, you will get to see who accessed the file, what changes have been made, right? Or the changes have been made, are these changes successful or not successful? So for this I'm going to monitor all of it. Just select all, or if you want to for a specific, just click on that to monitor all. Now here in this option, it says, do you want to import global exclusion filter? No, I don't want to import global exclusion filter. Otherwise, it basically going to import the exclusion filter, which is applicable for globally, right? Now in the advanced options, if you want to create inclusion or exclusion filter, I will talk about it later. Now first create this rule. Firefox change. Save this rule. It will show like this. I hope you guys have done. Now select the rule and click next. Now here, see the same thing. If you are the only owner of the environment, you can go with the tags. So what happens when you choose the tags? All the assets which are having the same tag will get with this configuration monitoring profile, right? So for example, if I click on add tag, these are the recent tags, these are the favorite tags, and all tags. In all tags, you are going to find the all tags which are available right now. See, so for example, if I choose FIM, if I choose Azure, if I choose Azure resources, all the assets which are having these tags, which means this monitoring profile going to apply for it. But as we all are using the same environments, so let's go by using the assets name. So for that, you need to click on include assets. Now all the assets which have cloud agent installed using our installation key, you will find here. So for example, the path which I have given is for Win 2K19, right? So I'm choosing that one and hit apply.
So guys, for your respective assets, you will need to select your respective cloud VM, which is onboarded into this portal, so that agent on that VM will receive this monitoring profile configuration and act accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you assign your asset, just hit save and your configuration profile is ready. By default, you are on this page. Once you created a configuration profile, you will be want seeing your profile here. Why? Because when you create a monitoring profile, it basically by default inactive. So you need to activate manually. Here you are going to see the options like inactive. Click on it. These all are the monitoring profiles which are inactive. So for example, my file is this, which is Ankit file change track. I am just either I can select it, go to the actions, or export this profile from here. Export basically means this basically going to remove this profile from here. But I want to active this profile. So just click the quick action which is available here. Here you will find the multiple options like view the profile, what configuration this profile holds. If you want to edit this profile, you can edit from here. If you want to clone this profile, clone basically clone this same profile and you can just change the name of a profile and the same profile will be created. And then if you want to do some manipulation in the rule, you can do it. You can delete from here and see here option activate. This is the import registry rules. For the registry rules, I will talk about this when we are going to create rules for registry key and registry value. So let's activate this. Once you activate your profile, it will remove from the inactive tab and go to the active section.
Guys, please make sure that you are doing it along with Ankit. We are going to explore each and every minute use case which is possible through file integrity monitoring. So be on the same page, ask questions if you are stuck. If you are not on the same page, if you're lagging behind, please let him know. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah, so I can see all the profiles are active, right? Out of 4, which is file, directory, registry key and registry value. Right now we have only do one. Before moving ahead, now I want to tell you how to import profile from library. For example, if you have a machine, one machine, and you want to check that this machine settings or everything is getting compliant as per PCI DSS 4.0, then obviously you are not going to create each and every rule for it, right? So for that you are going to create you are going to import the same profile from the library. Go to the library. In the library, you are finding 21, which means Qualys provides 21 profile, which is available. Now you can select for the profile which is applicable for Windows. So these are the 8 profiles which are available for Windows. See, if you want your asset to be compliant with PCI DSS, you just need to import this profile in your configuration and you are ready to go. Same for Oracle database, Windows registry settings, Nest. And if you want to monitoring profile for Windows for the entire your Windows system, lightweight monitoring profile for Windows for all this. For example, I want my asset to be compliant with PCI DSS. I just click on it. Here are two options: view details and import to rules. View details basically is the same page like we are creating the monitoring profiles manually. This is the same thing, which basically going to show you that what rules are defined here as per PCI DSS. For example, the name of the profile, operating system, PCI, this is the description, date created, last updated, and the status is active. Now rules. These all are the rules which is as per PCI DSS, which is already predefined here. Now you just what need to do, select the profile, click on quick actions and hit import to profiles. When you click on import to profiles, you will see the import settings. There are two options which says how would you like to import, no restrictions or locked profile. In the no restriction section, once the profile is imported in your profile section, then you can make changes in that profile. For example, if you want to remove any rule, you can. If you want to add any external rule, you can. So anything you can change it here. But if you import this profile as a locked profile, you are basically not going to make any changes. The default profile which is provided by Qualys, you going to use it. So for example, I am just going to no restriction. Do you want in this profile for the monitor registry? Yes, I want. Once, make sure to choose these two options, no restrictions and monitor registry, and click on import. Now see, we need to do this task one by one. Otherwise it will going to see this error, profile with the same name already exists. Now for this, what you need to do, go to the configuration, profiles, and I can see in an inactive state, one profile is there. Now let's see, let's assume this profile is belongs to me. Let's assume it. I am going to edit it. In the edit section in the profile name, I need to change the name as Ankit, and so that no same name profile can interpret it. Now I'm going to check that everything is all right. Rules are there. Okay. So while you are going to edit, if you want, you can assign your assets also from here. So just click on include assets, not by text, just by, I would say, asset name. So my all three, which is Qualys 2K19, Qualys Win 10 Pro, and Qualys 2K16, I am assigning and save. I am done with this. Now, one by one, you please import this profile for your assets. Once you import it, you will find that in the inactive section. Then activate. Once you activate the profile, you will see that in the active tab.
Guys, you need to do it one by one because you all are
Yeah.
using the same console. And in one console, you will always have one admin, somebody who is responsible for all the configuration. So Ankit has imported it. Ankit has provided his name. Prashant has done it. Similarly, next person can do it. So one after another we need to do, because it's a duplicate profile. I'm saying it's a duplicate monitoring profile, that redundant monitoring profile that we are downloading, but each profile is aligned to a separate asset that belongs to you.
Everyone done? I am waiting for everyone done so that after that I can create profile for me, because I think I and Prashant were changing the name for a same profile together, and Prashant changed the name earlier from to me, so that's why my profile named as Prashant right now. So everyone please done it, then I will create a one for me. Okay, someone create profile for Microsoft Document Server. Yeah, you can explore any profile, and according to that rule, you just try to manipulate that rule. You just try to trigger that rule, which will basically, our motive is to create events, right? So we need to track that, yes, how FIM is working, how it is going to track the changes, right?
However, I have a question. Unless you have Microsoft Exchange Server deployed on your virtual machine, what is the
Yes,
point of importing this
yes,
profile
yes, yes, yes,
and
yes.
enabling it? It will be of no use because it is configured to identify file changes across Microsoft Exchange that does not exist on your VM. So guys, please download, please import relevant profiles, profiles related to a compliance, profile related to an operating system, profile related to a software or a program that you have on your virtual machine. First, uh, create from scratch profile that you've created, Ankit. Have we
Yes.
started receiving events for the simulation that you did?
Not right now, because we have to, remaining part is we have to assign this configuration profile to our assets. We haven't assigned yet.
Okay, you haven't assigned it. So you are right now creating configuration profiles both from scratch as well as importing
Hmm.
from library, and then you will assign it.
Yes.
Okay, great. Move on.
Okay. So before moving to create more profiles, I want you to let know that how we can assign this configuration profile to our assets. Those profiles are inactive. Please make sure to activate it within. Yeah, moving towards assets. Now see, we also this step is for those peoples who doesn't choose their assets there while creating the monitoring profile. If you have don't choose monitoring profile, you can choose from here. Now, remember in the cloud agent where we see the agents, we can assign only one configuration profile to one agent. Here, that configuration profile is different because that enables the module, which modules is going to install along with your cloud agent. This profile is basically here you can assign as many number of monitoring profiles as you want to to an asset. For example, this is my Qualys 2K19, and here I can see these three monitoring profiles are assigned to it, which I basically choose while creating it. Which first one is monitoring profile for Windows a day ago. Yeah, here. And this one PCI data just now 2 minutes ago, and the file change track 33 minutes ago. Now when they are going to generate events, once the status agent status sees file events uploaded, and the monitoring profile also shows here for this VM film manifest published and FIM events uploaded. Right now it's a correct time to show you how it basically create an events before moving to towards creating another monitoring profiles, right? So make see for this profile college win 2K19, there are three monitoring profiles assigned, in which the one profile is file change track, which I basically create just now to check the changes for for Firefox, right? Now if you want to assign more monitoring profiles to it, you just need to click on quick actions. Here you are basically going to see the details. View details. By when you click on view details, you are going to see the details of particular asset. View events is basically showing you the events which is related to this asset only. Assign a monitoring profile. By clicking on this option, we can assign more profiles and create correlation rule. What is this correlation rule? I will tell you when I'm talking about incident part, because this is related to it. Now, if I want to create more monitoring profile or assigning it to it, just click on it and see these are the multiple profiles available. I just select them which I want to assign and assign monitoring profile. However, these are the different profiles which belong to you guys, so I don't want to assign it. The profile which I have created for myself are already assigned. Now what I will do, I immediately go back to my VM for which the Firefox changes have been tracking is allowed. And one thing we have choose threshold time is 30 seconds, right? So what I'm going to do, for example, I'm going to change the name of it from firefox.exe to firefox.txt. See, I basically changed the entire functionality of this by changing the from .exe to .txt. Now this is a text file. I have made it changes. Now what I will do, okay, I will go to the events, all events. Now I'm just going to open the clock, timer, import one timer for 1 minute. Yeah. Let's see after 1 minute, the changes I have done in the Firefox is showing here or not. If it's done, which means our functionality or configuration which we have done is working perfectly fine. We are going to create more monitoring profiles, which is for directory, registry key, and registry value. And then we will after that we can end session for today. And then tomorrow onwards, when we join, we will look all the parts that how to uh, check details of events, how to create incidents, responses, reports, and all of that. Right.
All right, guys. Ankit is being so realistic here by putting this timer. See, you need to remember two things here. One, you're working in a trial account, so obviously trial account would have less priority over production accounts. Second, you also need to accommodate the latency, the delay in the network. So after accommodating both of it, then you can probably expect to receive those events and alerts in the portal.
Not yet. I have not received any update yet. Let me check. Refresh once again. Go to the asset part. FIM manifest published, FIM events uploaded, which means everything is working fine from here. It should show here in the all events.
It will fall in eventually. Don't bother on that part. And it will fall in for all the participants who have actually been following and doing the same configuration.
This one is for which VM? Deleted system. Yeah. 2K19. See, a minute ago, Firefox installer, it is here.
All right, so that has come from Alex, but not from you, which means for Alex, it is working a bit faster. So
Yeah,
there is no
okay.
comparison here.
It's from
It's all about
it's-
configuration. At the end of the day, it will fall in place.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So for a demo, see here, when you click on a file, I would say event, here you will see all the details about event, including what was the older name and what was the new name. So I can see the
Nice.
same name. What changes have you done, Alex?
He has moved it to desk
Look
from
closer. Look
downloads to
closer to the path.
documents.
Yeah,
Yes, they
okay,
move
okay, okay,
it
okay,
from
okay,
one
okay,
directory to
okay, okay,
another.
okay. From downloads to documents, you have moved the folder. Yeah.
Yes.
Now the entire details I will tell you later when we will talk about event part. 2 minutes ago, I am worried that why mine is not showing.
Yeah, yours will also come eventually. Don't worry on that. The
Yeah, yeah.
concept should work. Whether it is working for 1% or 10% doesn't make difference. So guys, so this is where you have seen that how you are onboarding assets in file integrity monitoring, and then how do you configure monitoring profiles based on criterias, which is files, registries, directories. And you've seen one demo here that you've configured the file-based tracking for one of the files. So this, before you configure this module, a lot of hand-holding and brainstorming exercise will happen between different teams, application team, server team, infra team, and then security team. So security will not know everything, in the very beginning. They will need to be educated, they will need to be informed about it. So application team will come and say, we have one application which is mission critical to our business, and this is the important files of my application. We want to monitor the changes across these files. So security team will capture that data, and in the similar fashion, security team will consolidate data from all the stakeholders in the environment, and then they will act on that data by creating monitoring profiles against that data and assigning it to the appropriate asset. So that's the process that will continue to run. It will continue. It's a cycle that you will continue to work in if you happen to work as a file integrity monitoring profession. Sometimes you will see, noise of alerts. A lot of alerts will come. So I have seen this for one of the customer who basically has configured file integrity monitoring for an application. However, they forgot to assign a blackout period, and what has happened, that application went into maintenance mode wherein the application was upgraded. And as part of that upgrade, a lot of registry changes happened. A lot of executable were added to the directory where the application was residing, and some of them were overwritten. And all of a sudden, FIM software, went mad and it started throwing a lot of alerts. Within a minute, there were more than 1,000 events that was thrown into the portal because it was doing its job. Its job was to monitor for changes. It found changes and it thrown all the alerts into the portal. So as an administrator of the solution, you need to be aware of those administrative tasks also. That how will I configure my solution? Where exactly will I configure the blackout period, which I was talking about yesterday. So you will configure the blackout period for FIM module to tell FIM module that please do not act on any action within this time frame. So this is also one thing that you need to remember. And since we all are working in the same module, please make sure that we are not changing the configuration for others. So stick to your configuration. You have the freedom to explore all the monitoring profiles which are available from the library. However, do not import any profile for which a corresponding software and application does not exist in your VM. Otherwise, it will be of no use. However, if you want to see the capabilities which are there in the profile, the configuration options which are available, be my guest, go ahead and do that.